So here, design view. Okay, now we are looking at the design view. This is a another table here, but it's transposed. So each row presents one column. Right? We have field name. Right, this is field name. Is the title of the column, and you have a data type. This concept is very important, right? In the database, we have the control data type. You can only use the design that have. For example, let's say if this one is short text, you must use a text, right? A short text for this column. But if it's a number, you must type in number. If the data type is a number, however you want to type ABC in the cell, it will show you a lot, right? That some students may say, okay, that's kind of annoying, right? Yes, maybe when you try to input something, it's kind of annoying. You want to put something, but it can't. However, think about it, it's a very big company. Every people doing entries in the same table. But if the data type is different, that would kind of messy. We showed that before in Excel, right? So this data type can help us to prevent that types of error generated by human um, human typos. Okay. In another way, you collapse the form group. Collapse the form group so that the objects no longer display. So this one is easy. So we want just don't show the details for form. Sometimes we have too many tables, too many queries, too many forms. We want to make the workspace clean, right? Click on that, and reopen the relationships window. Um, so database tools, right? It's not here. Here's the relationships. It doesn't work for this practice. You need to go to the database tools to here relationships. Okay, it shows us the relationship. This is another important concept that you've learned that from the lecture right? So if you see a key here, which means this column, right? This is a table. One item is one column, right? In the access, the basic unit is one column. We don't deal with cells. We deal with columns and tables, right? This product ID is the key, is the primary key of this table. And the primary key must be unique in the table, right? And let's make an example for student ID, right? There are no two students have the same student ID. So every student must have unique student ID, right? Maybe there are two students have same name, exactly last name and first name, but they won't have the same student ID. That's fine. So student ID can be used as student's primary key, okay? And normally each table will have a unique key, right? Primary key. If you cannot figure out the primary key, sometimes we use unique, um, unite prime key, right? For example, like this one. Order ID is not unique for the order details. Or product ID is not unique for the order details neither. But if we combine them two, right? If we combine them two, the combinations of those two keys can be the prime key. So sometimes you have two components for the prime key. Okay, so you should know this table, right? And we have other things it's not showing here. It's called foreign key, right? If the product ID is here, right? And we also have product ID in the order details. So this product ID in the order details is a foreign key from products, right? So every ID, every product ID must in the products, right? You cannot create a order detail with something that don't have any product doesn't exist. Right? You cannot do that. Right? You have to pick one of those. That's a foreign key. And we also see here's one, right? One, two, infinity, right? Which is one too many. You can have only one from the product ID. That's very easy to understand because it's a primary key. You don't have two same products in the products, but you can have one product sold in many different orders, right? So that's called one to many relationship. Okay, so. Um, you may need to draw this table in the final exam. Right? If the question asks you to draw a diagram about this database, you should be able to draw like this. First thing is draw a box, present a table, give the table name, and show the prime key. Right? You don't need to draw a key. You can use prime key, right? And also use this one, for example, let's say this one, you can say premises prime key and premises uh, foreign key, or you can use FK or PK. Okay, so draw that and link them, right, with one to many or one to one, right, relationship. Remember, we don't deal with the many to many relationship, either one to many or one to one. Okay. So this is the relationship graph. Okay. Um, it wants us to create a relationship report. That is here, relationship report. Okay. This is a printable, right? It's a report. It's green book, right? Green book is a printable relationship report. Okay. And save it. Save it by default name. Okay. So I mean, we understand now we are dealing with the columns, right? Access dealing with columns. And now we want to do more practice. Yeah. Open the employees table in this sheet view. Right? Let's open the employees. And just same as Excel, you can edit any cell here with a correct format. I remember we have data types. We have data types. If the data type is wrong, you cannot do that. For example, let's say the last name, you have to put a uh, string, right? Or we call that text. But text is okay because you can put anything there. You can think about one is a text, two is text. But if on other side, if it's a number format, you cannot use any characters here. Tab and undo is here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Change the last name to Fox again, and then press tab close. So previously we changed this one. Let's change that again. If you change that, if you don't save, it won't affect. Right? Let's press tab and close. 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 And it will save the change and close the custom table. Right click on the tab, close. If you make some change, Access will give you a hint to whether save or not. Okay, let's do some more. Open the products uh, form from the form view, right? The form is like a interface, like GUI, right? The GUI about your table, because in many times you just don't want to enter the data from the tables directly. You want to make something is more looks more professional or more better to your eyes. Now let's do that. Products from the products from form, right? This is form products. Double click. Okay, see, this is like a system, right? If you have ever tried some system, it looks like some system is you only deal with one data at one time. Okay, and you want to see the next records. Here is the next icon, right? This is one out of 19. You have 19. You can use next, previous, the first, the last, and create a new one, right? Let's do the next. And then use the previous button. Let's go back for one. Okay. Now it asks us to search the product name containing word grammar. So we want to find, right? Find what? Find the grammar in any part of field. Any part of field. Okay. And find that. Okay. Then we want to create a new record. Now we have 19, right? 19 records. We want to create a new one. Click on here, new records. Right. So every time when you create one here, it will insert one row to the product table, right? You don't have to dealing with all the information at once. You just deal with one by one, right? So it wants you to type this. I have to type here. Julie's Kitchen. Okay. So now let's look at the products again. Let's see. Here is the record. Here's the record that we just typed. We enter it from the form, the table we update. Okay. And we want to delete that one. Correct. Let's delete that one and click on no to indicate that you don't want to delete records at this time. So first thing is choose these records, delete. Do you want to really delete? Right. No. Close the products table. So you see those are linked with each other. So if you create a tool like this, it's very easy for others to use. Sometimes as a manager, you want to work with the entire table, but for the data entry, you only use the forms. Okay. Backup database, right? Sometimes you want to backup database in case some problem with the server with the disk. So that is a good habit to backup your database. Another thing is even everything goes well, but sometimes we have some unprecedented error from later entry. So it's always be a good idea to back up your database frequently. If you made some, for example, let's say if we have backup yesterday and we get a serious problem today and we cannot fix that, we can roll back to yesterday from yesterday, right? So um, so that's backup database. Okay, that's very simple. Now in the first records, select city field selection. By selection, find all records that have a city field equal to London. So first we want to find a city with London, the first one, London, and selections, all records that are equal to London. This is just same as the Excel filter, but it has more options. Observe that four records now displayed on the data filter. Okay, complete. And now we do a little bit more on the filters. First record customer table representatives. Click on here, selection. It says containers, I think. Right, containers. In order to details extend query enabled. So if you want to um, add more filter at once, right? We want to filter our first column, second column, or some other columns at the same time. We can enable the filter by from feature. So first let's enable this.